What's up guys, Miles here with 9to5Mac, and let's talk about wireless charging. First and foremost, wireless charging has come a long way. Remember the Droid Charge? It was an Android smartphone that was Qi enabled, but you had to buy an entirely new backplate for the phone just to utilize that feature. Then Samsung really took it into the mainstream and standardized it. And since then, the technology development wise has been kind of stagnant on a mainstream front. Every year we get these little increments of speed improvements. Now we've got 30-watt wireless chargers, which is great, but the technology itself hasn't fundamentally changed much since its introduction. Improved? Sure. But refined? No, not really. Pretty much everyone is just taking the same parts off of the shelf and throwing it in a new fancy case, including Apple, which is why I think AirPower initially failed. The technology at the time just wouldn't allow for this kind of charging. So here comes Nomad, doing their thing as usual, and they're a brand I've always stood behind. Everything they make is top-notch quality, and I've never had a product of theirs fall apart or stop working on me. It's just fire across the board. So Nomad has teamed up with a company out of Arizona called Aira, and they've developed this technology called freepower that essentially solves what AirPower was trying to do, which is enable seamless 3-device charging no matter where you place it on the surface. This is the Nomad Base Station Pro, and this is the first device on the market to feature freepower technology. It's packaged up nicely here with a nice slate gray aluminum chassis and a padded leather mat on the surface for charging. Nomad did the smart thing and put USB-C on the back instead of some proprietary charger that you'll never be able to replace, and overall the design is classic Nomad, so I've got nothing to complain about. It's got nice grippy rubber feet on the bottom so it won't slide around at all, and it's no thicker than your typical wireless charger. Functionality wise, this charger does deliver as advertised. It can comfortably charge 2 phones and a pair of headphones, or 2 pairs of headphones and a phone, and you can put your devices down at any angle pretty much and it'll catch a charge. The biggest thing I've noticed with using this freepower charger versus a traditional wireless charger is speed. And when I say speed, I mean how long it takes for the device to start charging once it's placed on the mat. I'm not going to call freepower slow in this regard, but it's definitely noticeably slower than a traditional wireless charger. Slow enough for your brain to build up that anticipation for the charging chime or the blink, but nonetheless, I never missed a charge. I really did play around with it a lot to see how much of the phone could be hanging off the charger while still providing a charge to the phone, and I would say as long as you have at least 85% of the body on the charger, it'll guarantee you a charge. But this is still better than the precision that's required with standard wireless chargers today. With a typical wireless charger, you have to have it exactly lined up with that zone, otherwise nothing's happening. And that's been my biggest problem with wireless chargers as far as my daily life, especially the one I keep on my nightstand. I've got a Mophie 3-in-1 charger, and not to bash them at all because I think they make solid products, but there have been many occasions where I wake up with my phone or my AirPods on 60% because I accidentally bumped it overnight. This Base Station Pro pretty much eliminates that problem entirely. Probably one of my favorite features of this charger is actually the LED indicator lights. There are 3 LEDs on the front that come on when a device is placed on the mat, and even though there are 18 individual coils, and I'll get into that in a second, the LEDs are pretty much always corresponding with where the device is placed on the mat, which is pretty cool. Nomad and Aira actually hooked me up with an acrylic chassis just to show you guys how this tech works, and this is an actually fully functioning charger, so I'm happy about that. They're not getting this back. So what we're looking at here is an 18-coil proprietary matrix, and unlike your average wireless charger, the coils are essentially baked into the board. So when you look at how thin this board in the middle is, it really does excite me for how this could be implemented in a lot of new ways, even right now. You may be wondering how this company you probably haven't heard of is able to fit 18 coils into a fully functioning charger. Well, essentially the way freepower charges is by dispersing tiny little bursts of energy at insanely fast rates versus sending bigger waves of energy at a slower pace. Think staccato versus legato. Another cool feature that freepower brings into play is the intelligent multi-device charging. With the Base Station Pro, you're working with 30 watts in total, and the charger will essentially divvy that power up per device depending on what it is. So maybe the phone you're charging only needs 8 watts while your earphones need 2. Well, freepower will allow the Base Station Pro to know exactly how much the device needs so that it's charging as efficiently as possible. This is a first generation consumer product for both Aira and Nomad, and given that, I think this device is awesome and already so much better than pretty much all other wireless chargers out there. And while it's somewhat expected because of the price tag that this product commands, I do think that this is the first step in the future of wireless charging. There are so many ways they could implement freepower technology into our daily lives, even in its current form. The special thing about Aira as a company is that they control the software that runs freepower, and we know how big of a difference it makes when a company has control over the software it utilizes in its hardware. I got to ask the company a few questions, and they did say that software updates to improve performance would be a thing. It's things like software that should be able to fix its current first-gen limitations, like the speed for it to initiate a charge. As far as the base station Pro itself, I would like to see a future version have larger and more visible LEDs. I understand that Nomad generally goes for the minimalist design approach, but you can pretty much only see the LEDs clearly when the charger is directly in front of you at an appropriate angle, and when you've got devices on top and possibly hanging off the edge, the LEDs are almost useless in certain scenarios. There's a decent amount of space here at the top, so maybe the next version of the base station Pro can have the LEDs moved there. I also asked about Apple Watch compatibility, and as you might know, the Apple Watch uses a proprietary wireless charger, so it's not going to be immediately usable here. But Nomad said they're going to be releasing an add-on attachment for the base station Pro sometime next year. Overall though, I think this is the next step in wireless charging, and I can't wait to see where freepower goes in the future, and especially within Nomad's product line. Be sure to check the link in the description if you want to pick one of these up. Thank you all for watching. Make sure to subscribe for future content like this, and I'll talk to you guys in the next one.